Hello, everyone. Peace be upon you. It's my pleasure to be with you today. My name is Ola Ali, an assistant researcher at the National Research Institute of Astronomy and Geophysics, Nariaj, Egypt, um, and one of Nike Egypt team member. Our presentation today is titled Stars, Color, and Children, Teaching Astronomy Creatively at the Art Narty Festival. This presentation was originally prepared to be presented by me and Doha Gabr, co-founder of the Art Narty Festival, fine artist and art therapist. Unfortunately, due to personal circumstances, Doha is not with me today while recording, but inshallah, she will be attending the live session at the workshop. Let's start by introducing the Art Narty Festival. It is a festival dedicated to children's art, especially for children living in remote governorates that are far from Egypt's artistic cultural map, which is mostly centered in Cairo. The idea began in 2017 when the festival founders decided to serve their communities by nurturing children in supportive environments in terms of cultural and art. Ahmed Saar, the owner of Ashri Narti Hotel, located in Gharb Suhail Island in Aswan, offered the hotel to host the festival's activity, while Doha managed the festival's art programs. For the first four editions of the festival, it carried the name Ashri Narti after the hotel. Later, as it expanded to new locations, the name changed to Art Narti, a blend of English and Nubian, where Narti means the island. So the new name significance means the island of arts. The festival offers a wide range of workshops and activities, including visual art, storytelling, music, dance, filmmaking, scientific and recreational trips, and more. Since 2017, more than 15,000 children across seven different governorates in Egypt have been benefited from the festival. Each year, the festival adapts a specific theme to raise children's awareness about different values such as community service and volunteerism. Uh, like in these photos, uh, was taken at the sixth edition of the festival, which focused on raising awareness about the Nile Basin countries. A fashion show was presented where several girls wore dresses representing each of the Nile Basin countries. All the costumes were designed and dyed by the children themselves. In the seventh edition, the theme was تأمل, تفكر, تدبر in Arabic, which are observe, reflect, and deliberate. During this round, around 200 workshops were held in different locations, including Aswan, Nubia, Upper Egypt, Siwa Oasis, also areas that hosting Sudanese refugees. Now we come to the part where astronomy become part of the festival. It all started in 2023 when the African Network of Women in Astronomy announced a competition for seed funding to support outreach activities in Africa, focused on using astronomy and STEM to empower girls living in remote areas. At that time, I was already following the activities of the Art Narty Festival. I contacted Doha through a mutual friend and told her about the competition. I said that if I won, I wanted to use the funding to conduct astronomy activities within the festival. And she immediately agreed. Later, thank God, my proposal was selected as one of the winning projects. After receiving the award, I shared a detailed proposal with Doha about all the activities I wanted to organize for the children. She was already interested in adding astronomy to the festival, and initially, the plan was to use the funding for the Aswan edition of the 2024 festival. However, after reading my proposal, she suggested that I should also join the Siwa Oasis team as a volunteer so that the children there could benefit too from these activities. I went with the team to Siwa equipped with um, support from Norway. The support equipments were telescopes, model showing the sun-earth movement, eclipse sunglasses, all the tools you are seeing here in these photos. All these organizations collaborated to reach children in remote areas. Our main goal was to connect science and imagination through creative practice. Uh, the workshop were designed for children aged from 3 to 16, grouped by age to ensure suitable activities. The session combined astronomy and artistic principles through creatively hands-on experience. These activities included the space-inspired fashion design, telescope observations with telescopes, and so on. Let's start with the first activity, painting the planets. In this activity, children learn about the planets and their color. With the help of an artist, they began by learning color theory, how to mix primary colors to create new ones, how to use paintbrush, and how to experiment with different kind of paint. The photo in the left showed children in Siwa painting with watercolors on black canvas. On the right, you can see younger kids using colored pencils instead. I used every resource I had to deliver this astronomy information, including a planetary picture book I received at the African Regional Shaw meeting in South Africa, 2023. Sometimes I showed them the planets using my phone, my laptop, but actually I preferred hands-on material over screens. This helped the children stay focused and understand the universe deeply. The second activity was Connect the Dots constellations. Before the festival, I met with Iman Abdulmati, an artist and volunteer. I explained astronomy concepts to her, and she came up with a beautiful idea. We printed real star patterns, removed the traditional constellation outline, and gave them to the children to imagine and create their own constellation. This activity was especially fascinating for the younger group, ages from 3 to 5, who had never heard about constellation. When I asked them to connect the dots or draw around them, they came up with amazing shapes. You can see here there is butterfly, semi-peeled banana, a Christmas tree, a girl with a butterfly dress, a lot of amazing shapes. Their artwork were later exhibited on the final day of the festival, proudly displayed on the hotel's walls. The third activity combined storytelling and astronomy. Some sessions were held outside the hotel. For example, this one was at community school in Komombo. Komombo is a town located 50 kilometers north of Aswan. The session began with Haitham Shukri, a storyteller who told a story titled My New Friend. The story ended with a question: where did the moon go? Leaving an open ending. Uh, that's where I stepped in, using a moon model to answer the question. We talked about why the boy in the story thought the moon was following him and why it changes shape during the month. The children took turns holding a flashlight representing the sun and the moon model, observing how the faces was created. The fourth activity, and one of my favorites, was space-inspired fashion design. Uh, Children designed clothing inspired by astronomy. At the end, they held the fashion show proudly wearing their own designs. In this photo, a group of girls designed a skirt showing the faces of the moon. Another dress was um, galaxy themed dress, cloud themed dress. Um, all the sewing, painting, and modeling were done by the children themselves. There were actually two fashion shows during the festival's closing ceremony. And the second one was even more fascinating. It was led by Minnatullah Fathi, a talented fashion designer. She taught the kids how to create natural dyes from materials around them, tree leaves, flowers, spices, and with some astronomy information, she taught them how sunlight helped dry and set the color of the dyes. Um, they learned that the sun's heat affects the dyes, and natural color can alter the color of the clothes. Blending astronomy, chemistry, and creative art all in one workshop was fascinating. The impact of this collaboration was truly inspiring. Astronomy captures the children's imagination. We saw that art-based learning makes children more curious, creative, and confident. One of the results of these activities was the new generation of young astronomers, as I like to call them. Many children returned for Art Narty 2025, where we continued with more advanced topics, how to use a sky map, building a sun layer model, and helping me while observing the 2025 lunar eclipse. One of the moments I'm most proud of was when Yusra, a young girl I taught in 2024, helped explain the solar system to another child while I was busy. Watching her confidently describe the planet reminds me of how deeply these experiences stay with the children. In conclusion, integrating art into astronomy outreach enhances engagement. It makes science joyful, relatable, and unforgettable. Our future plan included expanding STEAM workshops, continuing this artist astronomer collaboration. We were part of Art Narty 2025, and we are planning an even bigger collaboration for Art Narty 2026, inshallah. Also, if you wanna like to know more about the Art Narty 2025, please follow us at the Marasi IEU Shaw Workshop, which will be held in Egypt, where Doha will be an invited speaker for the Astro Art special session. The session may be streamed on Zoom, but for sure it will be available later on Nariage's YouTube channel. Finally, thank you all for attending and listening. Special thanks to the Art Narty team for their creativity and support. Special thanks to the designer team for the lovely template I used today. And most of all, to the children who made this festival unforgettable. Please follow Art Narty and Nariajan social media through the QR codes on this slides. Thank you, and I hope you enjoyed this journey. Uh, Bye bye.